You're listening to the Drunk Sports Podcast with Big Red and IndyCar Tim, talking sports, current events, guy stuff, and everything in between. Now open up a cold one and drink along because here they are, Lance and Tim.
You can buy me a drink.
We're all drunk.
Absolutely.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Drunk Sports Podcast. I am Mr. IndyCar Tim, along with my favorite partner in the whole world. You got to say it again. You had your mic muted.
Oh, I'm still Big Red.
Big Red.
And we are live from Studio 69 at Casa Not So Grande on this lovely evening where it's just dropped down to about 47 degrees. I believe there's a bit of snow coming.
It's raining pitchforks and buttholes out here.
According to Jeb, yes. Pitchforks from the sky. Hello to all our drunk dudes and dolls and our drunk sports podtards. We've got a peanut gallery in the house today. And there's some beautiful faces that I'm looking at right now from behind the camera. I'm talking to you, Max. We want to say hello to Max. We want to say hello to Blashley. We want to say hello to Lauren, Stacy, and RJ.
Not Choppy.
Not Choppy. He would never show up to this thing. As always, this episode is brought to you by the Highlands Performance Golf Center. Can you hear yet?
No, I can't hear anything.
You can't hear is your thing plugged in on the deal? Do you have your thing muted? Because you could hear earlier, right?
No, I can't hear.
Lance broke his headphones, apparently.
Technology wins again.
Technology beat Lance, not me. I'm good. I got everything. The Highlands Performance Golf Center in Carrollton, 2538 Golden Bear Drive, 972-733-4111, and on the web at golfcenteratthehighlands.com. We appreciate everybody over there, Jeb and Jeb.
No, Jeb doesn't work there. No.
Gerb. Jeb,
No.
I just gave you credit for something you didn't do. Mr. Gerb, Mr. Buss, and of course Chris Ownby, the fitness instructor over there. We had a good time out there last Saturday.
Yes, it is Ownby with no S.
Yeah. Oh, that's on corrections. Don't worry. We'll get into that in a little bit. We got a great show. We got some shout outs. We of course have the apology count, apologies and corrections. We have a special edition of Who Needs a Hug. We, of course, have our Twitter segment, which is misleading because it has nothing to do with Twitter. It's actually an acronym for This Week in Texas Rangers. And then we're going to talk about a little bit of Dak. Got some Cliff Kingsbury news.
Oh, the women will love that
Yes,
shit.
some Cliff Kingsbury news. We've got some U.S.
Coach
Open talk.
Bro.
Do women prefer the dad bod over ripped abs?
Absolutely she
We're gonna
does.
talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely.
And then the late, great, as Dion put it, Gil Brandt, who's not dead, but for some reason Deion Sanders tried to put him in the ground a few years ago during the NFL draft.
Well, he's not Don January.
No, he's not Don January that Lance tried to put in the grave early a few months ago. But Mr. Gil Brandt put out an interesting NFL top 10 list that we're going to get into a little bit towards the end of the show if we have time. But to start things off, we need to give excuse me. God, this beer's thick. A special shout out to our official MMA fighter of the show, Mr. Landry Ward, who had something very special happen to him recently. Lance, what was that?
Landry signed his professional contract this week.
So he is no longer an amateur.
No longer an amateur. He's going to start making money for this.
Is he going to keep winning, though?
Whipping people's ass for a living.
So I'm not allowed to bet against him again?
You will never know. No.
All right. My bad.
I like his mama. I like him.
Dude, I
like their
told you,
family.
be careful whose mama you talk about on the air.
Don't talk about a whole lot of mamas because we ain't talking about mine.
I miss talking about your mom on the air.
Well, we can mention her every once in a while, but we will not use her name in vain.
No, we would never do that. Talk about Max's mom. I've seen a picture of Max's mom, by the way.
Oh, hey now.
How's she doing? So Mr. Landry Ward is now a pro, and we can't wait to talk about his next fight. Of course, he had an interesting occurrence where they had to cancel a training trip to Mexico, right?
Yes.
Due to some cartel activity.
Well, he was actually going to go down there to fight, and Yeah, and he was going to go down there a week early to do some training, and decided, no, it's not such a good idea. They're finding bodies and shit. So,
Dude, there are some bad things going on in Mexico right now.
no, let's take a trip.
Let's not. It'd probably be pretty cheap, though. Who wants to
Yeah.
go to Mexico?
Let's do a cruise.
Not me.
Why not? We'll just pick them off from our balcony on the cruise ship.
Jeez. When are we going to Mexico? To Mexico? I did not approve of this cruise. Why am I going on a cruise to Mexico?
I'm going on a cruise, and I'll do it from the room.
She said we.
Oh, did she?
Is it a show trip?
It could be.
I don't want to go to Mexico.
Why not?
I would rather go to Arkansas.
My little
It's
Dumaflitchy.
just as scenic in Arkansas as it is in Mexico.
My Dumaflitchy here is losing traction. So I'm gonna fix it.
Technology is beating the crap out
This
of
isn't
Lance
even
tonight.
technology. This is just you
Jesus.
gave me the busted ass broken shit this week.
Okay, we got to buy new stuff. We need another show sponsor. Who wants to sponsor us? Max, you can't sponsor us. You don't have any money.
So Max, if I let you take care of my yard, will you then buy us new shit? That's a no.
That
That's a
took
no.
way too long for him to answer.
There was two breaths before the answer, so no. That's
So
not-
our
that's
apology count for the last episode that we did live at the Highlands Performance Golf Center.
Dude, that was a fun show.
That was a great
Had
show,
fun.
man. We had a really good time. We had such a good time. We ended up doing basically 2 shows because we took a break in between. Couldn't come out of the break properly. We're going to talk about that. We had to watch some really
Yes, it's
cool swings out there, though.
My fault.
It's all your fault. All your fault. Who put you in charge of music, return music? So the apology count, Lance, and this is both of us, not just you, was 14. Do you know what that means?
14 apologies. I got one. You
I'm
got
sorry.
13?
Absolutely count.
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry,
Count.
not the apology
Oh.
count. Sorry. I even typed it. Look, I typed it on the run sheet wrong. It says apology count.
Okay.
So there's an apology for next week. But yeah, so that means that we said
Tim's
combined
typos.
That's not going to be a new segment.
The Timptionary and Tim's
No.
typos. I'm going to make those. Yes, those will be segments.
Well, in order for you to do that, you would have to actually contribute to the content of the show. So let's hold our breath.
oh, so now we know. Shots fired.
Boomps.
Absolutely.
So the absolutely count, for those of you who are unaware, we have a
feel
show
bad now.
game, and anytime we say absolutely, and it's mainly Lance because it started as his crutch word. Anytime we say the word absolutely and you're listening and you're not driving, you have to take a shot or a chug or something, whatever you're doing.
Well, even if you're driving, as long as you're not drinking alcohol. But I
That's
mean,
the
this
whole
is
point.
the Drunk Sports Podcast. But if you're driving, take a big swig of Dr. Pepper or whatever, sweet tea or unsweet tea if you're on a diet or some shit.
I don't like that rule at all. It's got to be alcoholic. So it was
We just want to make
14.
people, so this is we're going to make this the You Gotta Pee podcast.
The drunk driving podcast.
We're going to
Dude,
make
we
you
get all the listeners.
We're going to make you pee podcast.
They'd all be police, too. So, yes, 14. Go to your 14 shots to get caught up from last week. Apologies and corrections.
I think I've done those already.
Pretty much. Yeah, we apologize for... I apologize for not hitting the record button properly last week when we started.
I'm glad you said that because I looked.
No, I did it. I did it this week. And by the way, our camera fell over last week when we were broadcasting live.
Dude, it was windy.
It was windy as hell. We were worried about the speaker blowing over too, but Lance finally tethered the tripod for the camera to the speaker, and things worked out.
Man, if baling wire and duct tape can't fix it, it can't be fixed.
So that's a testimony for the durability of the Logitech 9C922, whatever it is.
I think it's looking at me cockeyed
webcam.
right now.
What's not cockeyed in the picture? We look fine.
I always look good, but
Can
I
you
mean,
hear it
that
on your
somebody looks
headphones yet? Did you
cockeyed.
fix that?
No, no, that's why I got this off here, so I can hear you.
I don't know what is happening right now.
I have no idea.
Yeah, or did you turn them on? Did you crank the battery to get it going first before you put them on?
These aren't Model A headphones. There is no little crank over here.
Built by the Ford Motor Company?
Yeah, no.
So then corrections, of course, we had 3 awesome guests last week that we interviewed live with us. Mr. Chris Bussell, who is the GM out at the Highlands Performance Golf Center.
Way to go, Bus.
Mr. John Gerber, who is one of the teaching instructors out there. And as Lance put it, Mr. Chris Ownsby, who is the fitness instructor.
Sorry, dude. Don't whip my ass.
There is no S in his name. The number 1 rule of broadcasting is you don't get a guest's name wrong. Well, that's probably not number 1. We'll put that like a number 8 or something. But so we apologize to Mr. Ownby for that. But that was a good time last week. And we hope to get out there again for their demo day. They're going to do it. Apparently, they have 2 more. He said they do one in the fall. That's all the manufacturers. And then apparently, Titleist doesn't like to play well with others, so they get to do their own at some point. He didn't tell us when that was going to be, but maybe we can be out there for that as well. Get some free clubs, which I still didn't get my free clubs. So I may never play golf again. So, Lance, who needs a hug this week?
Well,
I know you've got one that you tried to throw in there last week.
Well, no. Who I tried to throw in there last week was who I thought you were going to say needs a hug, and he doesn't need a hug. He needs a Jimmy kick is what he needs. He needs a straight up kick in the nuts. Kellen Winslow Jr.
Winslow.
I mean, to have a daddy as awesome as he is, and to have a piece of shit son like Kellen Winslow, who's a hell of an athlete.
Hall of Famer.
No, I'm talking about Kellen Winslow Jr.
Oh, well, his daddy's a Hall of Famer.
Well, yes, his daddy is a Hall of Famer. Kellen Winslow Jr. was a hell of an athlete. But the dude has been on trial for raping a 50-odd-year-old homeless woman.
58.
Also exposing himself to women. And there's another rape charge coming up somewhere.
So he will no longer be remembered for what he did on the football field.
Well, there wasn't a whole lot to remember him about on the football field because he was a lot of garbage.
469 catches, 5,236 yards, and 25 touchdowns.
Okay.
Over 9 years. I mean, he ain't going to make the Hall of Fame, but he was a serviceable tight end.
He's not his daddy.
Of course, he played for the Browns,
that apple
the Bucks,
fell far from the tree.
Jets, Seahawks. How do you play for 5 teams in 9 years? You have to be a nut, right? Nobody wants you.
That's why, people get tired of hearing your bullshit and they push you on.
So I was reading some of this about some of his former teammates, how they were describing him, and no one had anything nice to say about him.
Dude, some of those stories that I read, nobody wanted to room with him.
No.
And
because they didn't want to watch him toss off all night.
Okay, I was going to...
Can we say that?
we can say whatever we want, but we're going to may cut down on some listeners here, but yes, nobody wanted to room with him because he would choke the chicken all night.
We need to do a show on euphemisms of masturbating.
I was trying not to say
ways can we
that
say
word.
it?
I was trying not to say the M word.
Masturbating? What is wrong with saying masturbating?
There's nothing, I don't guess, now.
Well, look, now Max is doing it. Good
the
Lord.
egg has been broken.
So part of what the article brings out here
Stroking the purple-headed yogurt slinger
says he was arrested in November of 2014 outside of a Target store in Hanover, New Jersey, for possession of synthetic marijuana. At the time he was caught in his car, he was masturbating in his car outside a Target store.
Target. He's a pro athlete, so that's Target.
I can never go back to Target store. Why would you do that outside of a Target store? Like, why would you not go to like Sarah's Secret?
I don't know.
If you're gonna do that, I guess all the soccer moms. So someone else that needs a hug. Lance, I don't know if you saw this or not, but the Toronto Raptors defeated the Golden State Warriors in 6 games to win the NBA championship.
Why do you got to keep bringing that shit up? You know I saw it.
Because the Toronto Raptors president, Masai Ujiri, was apparently involved with an altercation with a sheriff's deputy moments after the final buzzer.
Insert racial joke here.
So apparently he was trying to rush the floor in joy, I guess, because they obviously just won the title. And I saw the video of this because somebody isolated it from the game footage, but Apparently, he knocked down a sheriff who was trying to keep him from going on the floor, who didn't know who he was.
So
he
maybe
didn't
he
have
was
credentials.
Was he not just trying to
He was trying to celebrate with his team.
retaliate for what the Golden State coach did to Mike Lowry?
What did he do?
Did you not see
Steve
where Mike
Kerr?
Lowry dove into the crowd, and he ended up shoving him off, and he ended up getting suspended, like a $500,000 fine or some shit.
I support everything Steve Kerr does other than coaching the Golden State Warriors.
It wasn't Steve Kerr. It was one of the
one of the
minority
assistants?
owners.
Oh, the owner dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw that, yeah. Yeah, well, he got banned from, what, a whole year? Season, 1 year suspension,
Was it a
right?
year?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah, he was just a minority owner, though. He's not important. So, yes, Mr. Masai Ujiri, here is a show hug to you.
no, I ain't hugging him.
Are you aware of the Nationals pitcher named Max Scherzer?
That's the dude with the blue eye and the brown eye.
He has David Bowie disease. I think that's what it's called, right?
No, it's
It's not called David Bowie disease?
David Bowie have that?
Yeah.
Did he really?
He's had one blue eye, one brown eye, right?
Oh.
One eye was dilated and one eye wasn't.
One eye was so he was half drunk.
Sure.
Okay, I'm being
I
corrected.
don't know if it's drunk. Probably closer to stoned than drunk. But
So, as you're probably aware, Mr. Lance, in the National League, the pitchers have to bat. So they take batting practice with the team on days that are in their rotation to start. He bunted in bunting practice. I don't know why you're practicing to bunt as a pitcher, because they hit all the home runs. But he fouled
God
off
almighty.
a bunt, an attempted bunt, off of his nose. Shattered his nose. He missed. That was on a Tuesday.
at least he didn't knock out his blue eye.
So they didn't put him on the injured list or anything. This is a testimony to the toughness of major league pitchers, except for Mike Bassick, who can't catch a foul ball in the stands.
Oh, hey now.
But he didn't miss a start. He ended up starting on Wednesday. The next day, pitched 7 innings, 10 strikeouts, and allowed 0 runs with a shattered nose.
You think he breathed through his eyelids like Valenzuela did?
Fernando.
Fernando Valenzuela? Is that how he was breathing when he was pitching?
So show hug to Mr. Max Scherzer.
We will give him a hug, yes.
And Mr. Max Adams, we will show hug you as well. Lenny Dykstra, keeping it in baseball.
Nails.
Did you see the story on Lenny Dykstra?
I did not, but I have, done a little bit of research since you gave me a run sheet, and I'm looking at it now since I don't contribute to the content of the show. And but I see that he spent 9 hours dumpster diving.
For what?
His fucking teeth.
Ex-MLB star Lenny Dykstra and his wrestler friend, by the way, how weird is that, spent 9 hours dumpster diving for his dentures.
Is wrestler friend like The Undertaker or somebody cool like that?
No, Sprinkles the Clown was his wrestler friend. I'm not making that up. Sprinkles the Clown.
How far has Lenny Dykstra fallen from grace?
How much do you think a pair of dentures
Going
cost?
from nails to hanging out with Sprinkles the Clown.
I don't know. I did not Google image search Sprinkles the Clown.
Oh, God.
I really did not want to. How much do you think a good set of dentures cost these days?
Well, I mean, being the all-around, well-rounded, career man that I am, I was a office manager for a dental office.
Okay, so you probably know.
Well, it ain't $80,000.
Lenny Dykstra's dentures cost $80,000 that he accidentally threw away. He said he was eating at a Jersey Mike's.
I mean, I've thrown a dip of snuff out unintentionally, but I've never taken my teeth out and thrown them away unintentionally.
He told New Jersey Advance Media he'd taken out his dentures and folded them in a napkin because, I quote, the bread is so hard on those subs, end quote. Why the hell are you eating there?
Is he
don't know.
Is he gumming French bread?
Here's another confusing part of this story.
That's disturbing. Come on, Lenny, you're better than this.
After driving home, Dykstra realized he'd forgotten his dentures, which were specially made with bone marrow and valued at $80,000. How did you drive all the way home without your teeth and not realize it? What the hell, Lenny?
I'm doing that a lot.
And then with help from his friend, a tag team wrestler named Sprinkles the Clown, the duo dug through the dumpster behind Jersey Mike's for 9 hours. How big are these dumpsters? Good Lord.
How small are those teeth?
So, this was funny. You want to come help me and Lenny Dykstra look for his dentures tonight? Sprinkles reportedly tweeted around 11 p.m. Or does anyone? This is a serious question. Apparently no one showed up.
And where was this, do we know?
In New Jersey.
Well, I'm surprised.
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
So, Mr. Lenny Dykstra and Sprinkles the Clown, here is a show hug for you.
I bet if Jason Peter were at home in New Jersey, he would have gone to help the great Lenny Dykstra and his fucked up friend Sprinkles the Clown look for Lenny's teeth.
I would not have helped anyone look for that. I will help you look for your teeth one day. Something tells me we are going to have a similar situation at some point.
Well, somebody may knock my teeth out, and we may be picking them up.
It might be reversed. I'm the one that needs dentures. So I predict that in our future. At some point, one of us will be helping the other look for his dentures in a restaurant dumpster somewhere.
That is a bromance.
Anything for my ride or die, brother. Drew Smiley, going back to baseball. Mr. Drew Smiley was a pitcher for the Texas Rangers.
DFA'd.
He was DFA'd on the 20th of this month.
Is that like didn't fucking attend?
Did you, so did you see the reason on the run sheet that I wrote, that I typed out? It says DFA'd on 620 after what?
Because they can't get people out.
After sucking.
After sucking.
Dude, he cannot get major league batters
That's
out.
normally when people get DFA'd.
Right.
I mean, that or they're brought up to replace a regular starter, and the regular starter comes back, and they've done their job in trying to fill that spot, and they DFA them back.
Stacy has a question.
What's DFA?
Designated for assignment. That means he's basically cut from the team.
Not cut from the team, just pushed back down to the minors.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
No. Well, it can mean that. It could mean a number of things.
Well,
Is it 7 days or 10 days?
If they have that, if he has any options left.
Which he does not.
Okay, then if he doesn't, basically they DFA him, and if nobody else picks him up, because he
Right.
basically
He can be
goes to
claimed
like the
on
waiver
waivers.
wire.
Right.
Somebody else, another team can pick him up off of waivers, and if nobody else picks him up, then he will go back into the Rangers system, and the Rangers will keep him.
Thank you.
But they won't. He's going to be cut.
No, because he can't get anybody out.
No, he won't. He'll make it through waivers, and I believe they have 7 or 10 days. I can't remember what the time frame is. The Rangers have that amount of time to make a decision on
Mr.
what
Smiley,
to do with
if
him.
you're listening to this, you can come. You'll sit between us or beside us and defend yourself. I would love to hear it, and I'll buy you a beer.
He needs all the beer. Good Lord.
I'll buy a case.
And then the last hug, and I don't know if we're going to hug this man because I really want to punch. I've wanted to punch this person
Dude,
for a long time.
This is another guy that he doesn't even deserve a Jimmy kick. He needs his ass whipped.
So let's see if I can play this audio here for everybody.
Go ahead, before I get back to him.
LeVar, can I switch gears with you because I have a question
You
here.
can switch gears with me anytime.
Let's stay focused here. All right. Can you please explain to me what the biggest...
So that was on First Take as LeVar Ball, father to Lonzo Ball, a recent addition to the New Orleans Pelicans, was being interviewed. That is Molly Qerim, I believe is how, or Karam. There's no U in her name. I have no idea how to say her last name. The wife of Jalen Rose responded to her question. You can switch gears
Change
with me.
gears with me
Anytime. Lance, do you take that as a sexual reference in that context that we just heard?
I don't want to defend LeVar Ball, but no, I don't.
So at the time that I heard it initially, listening to, I believe, Sean and RJ the other morning when I first heard the story, I was like, holy crap, there's no way he can get away with that. But now that I've heard it over and over again and I've sort of given some thought,
I mean, it's
Kinda
like changing the
dumb.
subject. I mean, that's all she was saying.
Right.
And all he said was, "Sure, you can change the subject with me anytime."
I believe it was the way she reacted, which made it cringeworthy because she.
And
if you see the
again,
video,
we have been in this situation before. It's how they take it and how they spin it and how they're going to make the shit sound to make the rest of us look bad.
yeah. So, LeVar Ball, you need a hug, but you need one from Molly Karam, not from us. So go
He
have
does
you
not
a
need a
hug.
hug. He needs his ass whipped.
He does. I'm not a big fan. Moving along.
man?
Max needs a hug, apparently. Blashley, can you give Max a hug real fast?
Just
We
real
just
quick.
watch that live.
I
I wasn't sure where that hand was going there
I didn't
for
know
a
where
second.
that submission was going to land either.
Good Lord. Okay,
Oh,
see, here we
see.
go.
Man,
Speaking of things getting sexual on the show, and for
Yeah.
once it's not between us. Wait, what?
what'd you say?
So, I don't know. You have to go back and listen to it.
Gonna move back over here.
So our new segment, Twitter, which again is confusing because it has nothing to do with the social media platform, but it's an acronym. This week in Texas Rangers, baby. Lance, are you excited about our Texas Rangers this year?
Start of the year, no, but yeah, I'm excited about them now. They're playing good ball, and you know why? You know why I'm gonna say they're playing good ball.
Because Nolan Ryan left the team.
You're an idiot. No,
No, that's not my claim. That was somebody that wanted to Twitter fight with me last week.
no. Well, I mean, we got some great people that follow us on Facebook and Twitter and whatnot, but I mean, they're not all the sharpest tools in the drawer.
No.
So, no, the reason the Rangers are doing so well this year is they don't have a whole lot of talent. They don't have the most talent in the league. They don't have, I don't think they have average talent in the league. They're doing it because of Woody.
They're doing it because of Woody, which you were a believer in from day one. I was not, but he is bringing me around because.
And you can thank me later.
I will thank you and hug you later. He is doing some wonderful things with this team, and dude, they are hanging with the Houston Disastros, who lead the division.
Didn't they? Have they not lost like 7 in a row?
Houston,
Yeah.
possibly, probably. I know they were playing what had a weekend series with the Yankees, so that could go either way.
Spank me's.
The Spank Me's. So they currently have a
Sorry,
record. They won today. They played an early game today and won. Beat who did they beat? The Chi Sox. 42-36 is their record. They are only 6.5 games back of Houston. Last week at this time, they were 9 games
Wait. 6.5 games back
of Houston.
of Houston. Houston just lost 7 in a row. My God, were they like 20 games back?
They were 9 games back this time last week.
So we're not playing really good ball right now. We're just playing a little bit better than Houston.
We're hanging with Houston. They split. Well, they split a 4-game series with Cleveland, which is terrible. They should have at least won 3 because
Come on,
Cleveland is
Woody.
horrible.
Come on, Woody.
Woody's fired.
I got you. Come on. No. Oh, Woody's not fired. Come on, Woody. You got this.
They took 2 of 3 against the Chicago White Sox over the weekend. So pitching is obviously going to be in question. Drew Smiley again DFA'd. So they're looking for pitching. The big question is, will they be buyers or will they be sellers? What do you think?
Knowing the Rangers and where they want to be in the next 2 years, I don't think they'll be buyers. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that and I don't know that they'll be sellers. But if they can get the right pieces at the right time down the line, then yeah, they might try to pawn something off. But I don't. No, I don't think there'll be.
The big question is,
I don't think we're going to get any groundbreaking moves.
No.
For the Rangers.
Well, you have Mike Minor, who's an ace, who's a certified ace on this staff.
I mean,
anybody that wants to buy from us is
stud.
going to want him. They're going to want Gallo. Nobody's going to want Elvis.
I believe
'cause of his
Gallo right
contract.
now Gallo and maybe Mazzaro are about as close to a no-touch player that we got.
I think they would deal Mazzara in the right situation.
They would deal
Not
Mazzaro.
Gallo.
They would far before they would do Gallo. Gallo, Gallo has made huge strides between today and where he was a year ago.
Right. Oh, I agree, 100%.
And
is that due to Chris?
I think part of it is. I
believe so too.
I do. I mean, it's changing a guy's mindset whenever he goes to the plate. I mean, you got to have the right mindset whenever you step into the box as to what you're going to do and what you're looking for, and doing the best that you can do, with the pitch that you're given. But instead of standing there swinging every effing time, looking to see how hard you can hit the ball. I mean, I think his mindset has changed. He's not the same ball player he was last year.
He's more disciplined at the plate.
Absolutely.
We both missed
Absolutely.
it.
Button's not big enough
for both of our fingers. So I'll tell you one person nobody's going to want to buy, and that is Mr. Rougned Odor.
Well, as long as he's wearing shorts to the plate, if he's wearing shorts on the diamond, I don't know a softball team that would take him.
No, he is now batting 174 as of today. What's even more alarming is he has an on-base percentage of 597. I'm sorry, that is his on-base plus slug. That's his OPS.
I was going to say.
That's his OPS.
On-base percentage of 597, that's pretty damn good. I mean, he's walking a lot if he's batting 170.
Yeah, no, it's that is his OPS, which is not a good OPS. Do you know what the league average is?
No, I wouldn't know.
About 750.
Oh, okay, well.
So, no, he's doing terrible. In terms of OPS, I did a little bit of homework on it. So, 900 and up is considered great. 833 to 899 is very good. 766 to 833 is above average. 700 to 766 is average. 633 to 699 below average. 567 and lower is considered very poor.
Garbage.
So Rugi's right there, man. So I don't know that they can no
and
longer.
He's below the Mendoza line.
He's below. He's so far below the Mendoza line. He can no longer be optioned down as of the last week of May. They waited too long to do that. He now has 5 years of tenure in the major leagues.
Right.
So he can reject an assignment to AAA or AA unless it's a rehab assignment.
Well, if we try to do that and he rejects it, can we take the fucking horses back?
Well, they're in, where did we say they were now? Where's he from? Venezuela? No, he's not Dominican.
If we go down to the DR, whoever the hell shot Ortiz, if we go down there to get the horses, they're probably going to shoot us, try to take it his. I don't think it's the DR. I think it's Venezuela.
I think it's Venezuela.
And but can we have the horses back?
No, I don't think it works that way. I don't think it works that way. So
to hell with the horses. I just want the trailer back.
Right. Your Texas Rangers team leaders as of this week are Elvis, leads the team in batting at 301, leads the team in stolen bases at 15.
Lemonade.
Your favorite Ranger, Mr. Shin-Soo Choo, leads the team in runs scored with 51. Grandpa Hunter Pence leads the team in RBIs. Of course, he's on the injured list. He's supposed to be back Thursday, according to Mr. Chris Woodward.
The best Ranger on the team.
And then Joey Gallo, who hasn't played since June 1st because of an... Last week, we couldn't remember what it was. I thought it was a hamstring, and then some random Rangers fan walking by said it was a wrist, but it's an oblique. It's actually an oblique. It's not a wrist.
If you combine a hamstring and a wrist, maybe you get an oblique.
I don't know.
I don't know the anatomy of. I don't know the math of anatomy or the anatomy of math.
Pence should be back Thursday. Gallo, we don't know yet, and it's interesting because Pence and Gallo are the only Rangers that are All-Star finalists. So everybody go online and vote for Hunter Pence and Joey Gallo for the All-Star team. And the team is saying that they would let Joey Gallo play in the home run derby.
I don't think it should. I don't think it should be up to the team. I think that should be straight player. I mean, it's the play. It's his. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It's his label. It's his. I mean, it's what he wants. It's how the fans perceive him.
Right.
The team should not interfere with how he wants to present himself.
I agree.
So if he wants to put himself out there and hit home runs. I mean, if he makes a fool of himself, then he makes a fool of himself.
Well,
and I understand if he hurts himself, then that's where it falls back to the team, and that sucks.
I don't know if they could stop him from participating unless it's in his contract or something.
That's lady DNA right there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I don't know how the hell they got it.
I don't think they could stop him from participating, but they could certainly discourage it, especially with his
Lady
injury
being
history.
my dog.
So yes, Rangers doing well. We'll see this time next week where they're at if they've gained any ground on Houston. I was going to say Houston just needs to start losing so we can catch them a little bit, and they have done that. So it's time for my favorite part of the show, short shots.
Short shots. Let's do it.
AKA Lance's khaki shorts.
Nope.
No?
No, we're doing away with that.
So we were going to talk about this
gone.
last week when we ran out of time, oddly enough. But it came out last week or week before last. Dak's agent has come out. Mr. Dak Prescott, quarterback of your Dallas Cowboys, has come out and said they're going to start north of $34 million a year for his new contract. So...
Okay. Go ahead.
We're still waiting for, of course, Carson Wentz signed his deal, which I believe was 32. Dak's going to want more, rightfully so or not, I have no idea. I do like Dak better than I like Carson Wentz because Carson Wentz can't get through a season. He hasn't in 5 years of football.
Much more durable, yes.
Much more durable. However, we have not heard from Mahomes or Goff yet on there, they're also due for contract extensions by their respective teams.
What round was Mahomes drafted in? Do we know off the top of our head? He was first round, late first, early second. We're gonna pull that up real quick. But I mean, so Mahomes, either drafted in the first or the second, either way, is making more money than Dak. I mean, because there's a tier that they work on as far as salary.
Pat Mahomes was chosen 10th overall in the first round of the 2017 draft.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mahomes. I put you late in the first. So yep, Kansas City traded up to get him. Okay, it's all coming back. So, but again, they're making money, and they've been earning that money. And I'm not saying that Dak has not earned that money, but there was an article that came out, and or there was somebody talking about it, and the big question was for Dak to make 34 plus a year. That would he would need to warrant that by being able to produce without the offensive coordinator, without the scheme.
Right.
Do you think that he can do that? Do you think that Dak Prescott can run an offense irregardless of who's calling the plays? Think back.
Well, I was going to say
8 months.
we've kind of seen evidence that he can't.
And that is my only disagreement with paying the man more than 34. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's gonna make a shitload of money. He's gonna make $30 million. Period. We know that. I mean, because and I know that I have been in past shows. I've talked about it. That I said that I didn't think he was worth it. I've come around, and not that I've seen any play or anything else. And listening to other people talk, that know more about it than I do, listening to the Kavanaughs, the Broaduses, and guys like that, I know those guys know what they're talking about, and he can do a lot with this offense. But can he do $34 million worth of offense in a year if the coaching staff was named the best offensive coordinator in the world? If he was on the Rams and was running that offense for them, would he be better?
playing under Sean McVay? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
That type of offense? I believe he would be better.
I mean,
and I believe that's where they're going.
that's a different offense. Yes. But the Cowboys right now, especially with Zeke in the fold, as long as Zeke is around, we are going to be a ride or die, grind it out. We're gonna make you earn your offensive snaps because we're going to take as many as we can. It's going to be 3.5 yards in a cloud of dust. That's what we want. That's what we want for 3 plays. 3.5 yards is all we need. 3.5 yards to play. They get us first downs. We move down the field. We suck up the clock. We do all that shit, and then our defense is rested. We bring those dogs on, and we say, Tank, hit him in the mouth.
So we have apparently, under popular belief, that Kellen Moore is the new offensive genius for the league, and he's what Jason Garrett was 15 years ago in terms of offensive, I guess, brain power. But if they're going to the type of offense that they say they're going to under Kellen Moore, Dak will be running more. It's going to be a less predictable offense. Running different plays out of the same formation, which they have not done under Garrett at all. It's the most predictable offense under Garrett in the entire league.
Right, and we know the same guys. We've listened to the same guys. We've talked to the same guys, and I think the biggest difference in the offense, it's still going to be Garrett's offense, but it's Kellen. It's and I'm going to try to say this. It's Coach Moore that is going to put his little twist on it. They're moving, they're taking in some pre-snap movement, changing looks up. It's not going to be I don't remember what the guy's name was, but every time he moved in motion, they knew the Cowboys, Zeke was going to get the ball up the middle. And it's not that same shit. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to seeing it come to fruition. But I'm going to. Do we need to sign him now? Do we need to sign him now, or do we go another year? And then if we don't get exactly what we want from him, do we not just put the franchise tag on him for a year and say, now see what you got?
You can do that. I have the feeling that if we wait, now you're talking 2 years down the road. So he's under contract next year.
He's under contract next year.
And then the next year after that, you franchise him.
Yep.
That franchise tag's probably going to be worth about $34 million.
That's what you're talking about paying him anyway.
And then by then you'll have had Pat Mahomes sign. You'll have had Jared Goff sign his new deal.
Okay, so if Dak Prescott leads us to the promised land, and from some of the stuff that we've heard and that we've that everybody else has heard too, and the speculation is if Jason Garrett does not deliver an NFC championship, he may be looking for a job next year.
Would he be looking for a job, or would Jason Garrett be looking for a job first?
That's what I'm saying. Jason Garrett.
Okay.
Jason Garrett will be looking for a job.
I hope so.
But,
well, the bottom line is,
again, are we going to put that on the offense? Or are we going to put that on the quarterback? Because the quarterback, again, we had this discussion a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we did.
Whenever Aaron Rodgers came up, and I told you that Aaron Rodgers could come in here with this offense, and we would be there. We would be where we want to go.
Lance believes that he could plug Aaron Rodgers into this offense, this team as it is right now, and win a Super Bowl.
Because Aaron Rodgers, as a quarterback, is knowledgeable enough, has the athletic ability, and can run an offense, would know when to check in, check out, and know what to do when. And I don't know that we've got that with the guy we've got. Not that he can't, because we haven't seen it.
He hasn't been allowed to do that.
From what we've heard, he has not been allowed to do that.
Right.
So I hope he proves me wrong. I hope we have the franchise quarterback that everybody is saying that we have. I've been a Cowboy fan all my life, and I've been under some of the greatest coaches and offenses that we've ever seen.
Right.
And some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in Roger and Troy, and those guys made it happen. I don't know. I wasn't old enough to be following, exactly what they were calling in the huddle and what they were opting out to, or audible out to, but those guys did it.
Right.
And I believe that Dak has not been given that opportunity. Do I trust him to do it? You got to give the man the reins sometime.
Right. No, and I agree with you. I believe that we do have the guy. I believe Dak is the guy. I'm very curious to see what he does this year under our new revamped offense. I think he will be successful. And I believe he is worth every bit of whatever amount of money you can pay him to keep him here long term. If the number's $34 million, pay the man $34 million. Everyone is up in arms about, well, we do that, we can't afford to pay Zeke, then we can't afford to pay Byron. You know what? Everybody's going to get their freaking money. There is enough money to go around under the cap. Stephen Jones is a cap genius. He will figure it out.
Well, yeah, Stephen Jones knows the cap better. I believe knows the cap better than anybody else in the league. But that's my biased opinion.
Right.
We got 4 guys that we need to sign soon. We got Dak, we got Zeke, we got Coop, and we got Byron Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of those 4 is going to be the odd man out?
Coop apparently wants 20. He ain't going to get 20.
Which one of those 4 is going to be the odd man out?
I don't think any of them are going to be out. I think we're going to have all 4. I believe they will. They'll get it done.
If I put a gun to your head, who's the odd man out?
Well, I would say Byron Jones if somebody's going to be left out.
I think Byron Jones will be.
That position is easier to replace than the other 3.
But we have, I think, one of the greatest up and coming defensive coordinators. He's somewhat of a defensive coordinator now.
Chris Richard.
Yep. So whenever him coming up, and that's another article that I read today. From the actually from the diehard Steelers fan site.
Oh Lord!
It came up on my feed that Chris Richard is the head coach in waiting, and I believe he could find a replacement. We may have a replacement already.
Right.
I don't know who it is, but
we drafted a safety, but I don't know anything about him.
Byron Jones isn't a safety now. He's a cornerback.
He's a corner. He's played both. He's a better corner than he is a safety. That's for sure.
But he's one of the greatest athletes in the league, athletically.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, so I would hate to lose the man, but yes, I'm with that Byron Jones would be odd man out.
So if they wait until, like you said, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, and then they sign him to a new contract after that, that $34 million number could be closer to 40 in 2 years because that's where it's going. So we pay him 34 a year now, or pay him 38 to 39 in 2 years. Just take your pick. But it's going to happen. They're going to pay the guy. They think he's the guy. They don't have anybody else. You can start with Mike White.
The only argument that I have for paying him the 34 now and making it an extension, if you pay him the 34 now with the money that he's making, this year, you pay him 34 for the next 3 years after this year, or 4 years after this year. If you add all that shit up and you average it out, it's closer to 30.
Right.
And that's where I'm okay with it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, let's do it that way. Let's go ahead and pay him. Let's pay him now. And I know I'm contradicting myself what I said 5 minutes ago, but
that's my job.
What you contradict? You're going to, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's do one or the other. We need to shit or get off the pot and make it known. Well, and they're not going to because they're the Joneses and they own the team. They can do whatever the hell they want to. But so let's everybody keep that in mind. If they sign him now, they sign him to a $34 million contract. They sign him to a $35 million contract so they can pay him more than Wentz. You take this year at what he's making, which is less than $1 million, right? Mm-hmm. making less than $1 million this year, and you add all those other years in with that, and you average it out, he's still less than a $30 million a year quarterback.
And that's a bargain.
And that's a bargain for what we've got. And I hope it is.
I hope he's our guy.
I'm going to go to sleep now.
I hope he's our guy. So interesting news out of Arizona as former Texas Tech head coach Cliff Kingsbury.
Coach Bro
has admitted that when he was at Texas Tech, that the coaching staff used fake Twitter accounts with, quote, cute girls, end quote, to spy on their players. So they would make these fake Twitter accounts with these hot chicks. Probably use Ashley's picture, I'm guessing, for one of them.
To spy on
his football players.
Spy on their own players.
Spy on their own players.
Do you see anything wrong with that?
I do not. Actually, I think it's kind of genius.
I think it's greatness. Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, if my players aren't smart enough to figure it out, then I'm going to follow you around and we're going to catfish it until we figure out what kind of dude you are. But
well, yeah, I mean, if the coaching staff is supposed to monitor their players' social media anyway to see what they're doing outside of practice, and if they're making
Coach Bro's way.
Yeah, dude, I hope he's successful.
Coach Bro's way.
There's no singing on this podcast. No? Okay. I hope he's successful in Arizona because he was not successful as a head coach at Texas Tech. He's supposed to be an offensive genius. Speaking of coordinators, but we'll see if that will translate to the pros. He made Johnny Manziel, who Johnny Manziel is, at A&M. So we'll see. But I wish all success to Coach Bruh.
Absolutely.
Did you hear about the Babe Ruth jersey that just sold for $5.64 million at an auction?
Is the Ruth family that hard up for money to sell? Great
yeah, because it was a family member, right, that sold it.
Yeah.
How can you do that? You would sell my great grandfather's Babe Ruth jersey if he was Babe Ruth.
If it doesn't bring me joy, I'm going to trade it for money.
Well, what if it brought me joy? What
if it was mine and you could still smell my essence on it?
Now we're talking $6 million.
Holy hell. My bad.
So apparently this jersey,
just give me half.
This jersey dates back to somewhere I don't know how they figured this out, but he wore it at some point between 28 and 30. It broke the previous record for a jersey being sold, which is also a 1920 Babe Ruth jersey of $4.4 million. But man, there's two aspects here. Number one, how can you sell a family, Babe Ruth's your grandfather or whatever, how can you sell his jersey?
Yep.
Number two, who's going to pay $5.64 million for you hit it, for a jersey? What are you going to do with it? Just going to hang it on the wall?
I'm going to bring it out here in the garage and put thumbtacks through it and hang it on the wall.
You would do that, wouldn't you?
Hell yeah, why not?
By the way, Babe Ruth.
I might put it on for the damn podcast.
Oh, God, can you imagine how that thing smells?
Smell his pits?
Good Lord.
I'd smell like Babe Ruth for a day.
He was not a healthy man. Imagine him sweating. Wool.
Do I look like a healthy man?
Healthier than Babe Ruth.
Because my liver hadn't failed yet.
By the way,
Sports podcast, dude, our livers are going to fail before too long.
I still consider Babe Ruth to be the all-time career leader in home runs. I do not recognize that other idiot with his other number. Yeah.
That guy?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
That guy?
So, yes, Babe Ruth still the all-time career leader in home runs at 714.
The guy that had the little vials and the
idiot
needles and
God, such
that
an
stuff.
idiot.
And
Don't say his name. I will dump beer all over your face.
Human growth hormone.
HGH. So.
It's the Lancinary.
The Lancinary.
Yeah, I'm making up words now.
Lance, you and I are not a picture of physical health by any stretch of the imagination.
Really? My wife's been talking to you about that?
No, I can just tell by looking at you.
Oh, okay. Good. I'm glad.
You and I constantly talk about, hey, we need to lose some weight, get rid of this little beer gut. Well, apparently an article has come out, a result of a Planet Fitness study that suggests women are being driven wild by a bit of an extra pudge. And we're not talking the Rangers catcher.
The chicks dig the dad bod.
The survey, commissioned by athletic gurus Planet Fitness and conducted by a public opinion pollster, recently revealed that contrary to what you might have believed, women actually prefer their men with a bit of a belly on them.
Hell yeah, you do, Ashley.
Dude,
you know you do.
Then I must just be, we need a calendar. We need to be on a calendar.
The Drunk Sports Podcast.
Dude.
Yeah.
We're going to dominate.
The Pod Dudes.
We're going to dominate.
And the Pod Tards calendar.
So
I get September.
The survey results show the majority of people who think positively about dad bods, men identify as having them, are proud of who they are.
We call them bodtards.
Bodtards. We're not supposed to use the tards thing at all anymore, remember?
You're the one that said it at the live spot.
We're never going to get on the radio if we can't be politically correct.
Well,
that's what I was told by a noted radio expert.
We're never
we need to
going
lose
to be
the
on the radio
podtards.
then because we're never going to be politically correct.
A few other vital statistics of the study stand out. A whopping 83% of mothers, making it nearly a unanimous vote among a certain subset of the ladies, said that they
dig dad bods?
wasn't going to say that. Said that they would be proud to have a husband with a dad bod. Whether this speaks to the current level of fitness of the man they fell in love with and still love, or a wider trend of body positivity remains to be hashed out.
I know I'm a hell of a lot fatter now than when I met Stacy.
I weigh more now than I have ever weighed in my life.
Not me.
The study says nearly half of all women surveyed admitted to believing that the dad bod was essentially the new hotness, replacing the popular six-pack abs of yesteryear.
Six-pack. Got a pony keg.
So I believe this to be a marketing ploy by Planet Fitness.
Why would Planet Fitness put that out there whenever I already got the dad bod?
Because they want guys to join the gym and come show off their dad bods. You know what we need to do? We need a shirtless episode of the Drunk Sports Podcast.
The No Shirt 9.
Bringing back the No Shirt 9. Lauren would love that.
We can do it
No
now.
Shirt 9.
No? Okay, I'm out.
All right.
No sleeves 9.
No sleeves 9. Dang it! I ain't tearing the sleeves off of this shirt.
The hell?
I just bought this shirt.
I was going to ask you what I mean, you like you're going to a formal dinner or
I
something.
was still drunk when I was getting ready for this podcast, and I forgot to change my shirt. We didn't even get into what I did over the weekend.
Oh,
We'll talk about that Tuesday night. By the
Yes.
way, Tuesday night, the day after tomorrow, we will be podcasting live from the official Tolo hang.
packing up and hit the road, baby.
Hitting the road again. Tuesday
road
night.
again.
Quick turnaround.
Like a band of
Yeah, there's no
gypsies,
singing.
we go down the highway.
Is that even the words to that song?
Yes.
Okay, I believe you. We will be at the Fortress, the
people I have to
confusingly
deal with.
spelled Fordtress Bar and Grill in Richardson, Texas, right off of 75, north of Beltline, I believe.
It's going to become the Dive on 75.
It is. They're changing. Our good buddy Adam that owns it is changing the name to the Dive on 75, which is way more appropriate for that
Hell
place.
yeah.
While it is a very nice place, we've been there, we've checked it out. The term Dive on 75 is appropriate for that. But we'll be there Tuesday night for the Tolo hang for 105.3 The Fan. It's going to kick off at 6:30. And I believe we're going to try to start podcasting at like 8:30 or something like that. But they're going to have some drink specials for all the Tolos that want to come hang out. We will see you all there. So, Lance, the 10
Tim.
most talented teams in the NFL ahead of the 2019 season. Oh, Max has to go. Whoa, that sounded real.
Oh.
Dude, that was like 3D sound.
Hang on.
Whoa.
Wait.
That is cool. Live opening beer on the air. Max, it's good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming out, man. I know you got to get up early.
Max, not
Wait, you can't
Max
take
Verstappen.
Ashley with you. Not Max
No.
Verstappen. He doesn't
No,
know.
she
There's
has
a
to
hug
stay.
right there. Look at that hug. Oh, slower. Okay, faster. Much faster. Faster hug. Faster hug. Fast. Okay, unhug now. Jeez. All right, I get to hug Ashley like that later. Get your leg off my wife.
That's not what I was going. I was going with what her left hand was doing.
So Mr. Gil Brandt, who is considered a football guru.
He's a god.
He's a football god, especially here in Dallas. Has put out an article on NFL.com. And this is the 10 most talented teams in the NFL. Not the 10 best teams in the NFL, but who he deems to have the most talent on their rosters.
The 10 most talented rosters.
It could very well have been said that way. And there's some surprises on here, I'll be very honest with you. I was not expecting number 2 or number 1 to be who they are.
No, not number 1.
Number 1?
Not the Browns.
No, it's not the Browns.
Maybe you ought to stick around for this segment.
However, the Browns are on the list at number 9. The number 9 most talented roster, of course. Odell Beckham is there now. Oliver Vernon, Baker Mayfield, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry.
Chubb.
So, yes.
Chubb.
I said Chubb. How'd you like your last name to be Chubb?
I said Chubb.
The number 10 team. Lauren, do you have a guess who the number 10 most talented roster is in the NFL?
RJ Not Choppy, do you have a guess on the number 10 team? It's not the
We are not an NFL roster.
No, we're not.
Although we very well could be. The most
NFL.
talented roster, according to Gil Brandt. We got Cleveland already at number 9. They are on the list, but they are not number 10. It is the Indianapolis, not Baltimore Colts. Do you know I still call them the Baltimore Colts sometimes? Like in my head, I have to catch myself. That's been, what, 84 was when they moved?
Yeah, 30. Yeah,
What?
35.
Oh, sorry. My wife was 1 when they moved from Baltimore in the middle of
We're
the night.
not bringing the nursery into this shit.
No. So, number
is
10,
an adult
Indianapolis Colts.
podcast.
Number 9, the Cleveland Browns. Number 8, I would have guessed they would have been higher, but they are on the list, the New Orleans Saints. My favorite NFL team, New Orleans Saints. Michael Thomas, by the way, was also up for a contract.
Friends?
Drew Brees, I have no idea how he's still playing football at 54 years old. Alvin Kamara, Jared Cook. So, yes, New Orleans should be good again this year. They should be shoo-ins to win that stupid NFC South division. Number 7. Again, I thought they'd be higher as well. The Kansas City Chiefs, not Dallas Texans.
Right.
Of course, Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, who we don't know what's happening with him, with his problems, Sammy Watkins. So Kansas City should be good again, according to Gil Brandt. Number 6, and I never would have put them on the list, but Gil Brandt knows way more than me. The Los Angeles Chargers, not San Diego Chargers. Many people have them in the Super Bowl this year. They are number 6. Talent on the roster.
Will Mr. Rivers be able to play having, like,
I don't think he's going to have any more kids.
You sure?
No, I'm not sure, but I don't think she's pregnant again.
I mean, seriously,
Belch.
counting the two of them, they have an offensive lineup.
With all his 12 kids? How many is it, 9?
I think he's got 9 kids.
He's got me beat.
I mean, apparently she's the center and he's the quarterback, so I mean...
He's the pitcher, she's the catcher?
That's where all the kids are coming from. I mean...
think. They're not adopted either, are they? Like, they're all
No,
their
they're
kids.
his. I mean, he's a...
Lord.
She's fertile myrtle.
Phillip Rivers. Zip it up, brother.
Yo, dude, let me... Come talk to me. I'll tell you what's causing that shit.
They don't have a TV in the bedroom, do they?
Probably not.
That was my issue. We had to put a TV in the bedroom finally. Number 5.
You need like a 75-inch TV in there now.
We got a 68.
Well,
That not big enough for you?
No, because you're getting.
How big is it? 65. Sorry, it's a 65.
You're getting close. You're getting close to having another one. I feel it.
Nope.
I feel it.
That factory is shut down, sir.
Show bet.
New England Patriots at number 5 of the top 10
All right, so what
teams in terms of talent on their roster.
Let's talk about
Gil Brandt.
Let's talk about that for a minute,
Okay.
real quick. Number 5, most talented teams. They could be number 15 most talented teams. And besides being in the division that they're in, with their quarterback and their coach,
Yep.
they're going to be in the top 10 in the league anyway.
I mean, the first line of the article says there's no question that Bill Belichick and his staff do an excellent job making players look better than they are, covering up flaws and not putting them in a position to fail.
So is that really talent? Is that really roster talent, or is that what Gil thinks that?
Well, I believe they've got some roster talent as well.
I believe that they have more roster talent now than they've had in the past.
Probably so. When's Tommy Football going to retire? God, he needs to retire. They need to suck. The league would be a better place if they sucked again.
The GOAT?
Don't call him that because he's not. He smells like a goat, I bet.
Dude, he was like a 6th round pick
Out of Michigan.
Well, yeah, I mean, and
Hey, that is still, what's his face's team? Drew Bledsoe. That is Drew Bledsoe's team still. He should be quarterbacking that team still.
Drew Bledsoe should be quarterbacking who?
The Patriots. That's his team.
Drew Bledsoe.
Tommy took over that team from him.
And Bledsoe got Bledsoe.
Oh, that burp stunk.
And then Bledsoe got Bledsoe with Romo.
Yep.
Here. He got hurt. So
Romo took over.
But Bledsoe, how old is Bledsoe now, I wonder?
I don't know. He's came in the league in what, 94?
So, I mean, he's
Probably my age, our age. He may not be 50 yet. Oh, that was a good one. That's going to stink, too, I can already tell. Coming in at number 4, your Los Angeles Rams. Cannot argue with that at all.
Cannot argue with that. The next one I will.
Gil Brandt has at number 3 of the most talented NFL rosters, the Chicago Bears. And I don't know if I can agree with that unless he is basing it solely on the fact that Khalil Mack plays for that team.
And that will carry a lot of weight. But,
dude,
do you think that Mitchell, because he doesn't want to be called Mitch anymore.
Oh, he doesn't?
No, that he made that clear before the draft. He didn't want to be Mitch Trubisky. He is Mitchell Trubisky. Can he really handle that load to be?
I don't think so.
The face of the franchise.
I don't think he can.
I don't either. But
Gil says that they are stocked with talent. And now we're down to the top 2 teams who play in the
who is
same
number 2?
Division.
You're not even listening to us. Stick your face back in your phone.
Love you.
NFC East dominates again.
Like I dominated my high school class reunion Friday night. The Dallas Cowboys of Dallas are your number 2 team. The article mentions the Cowboys personnel department, fronted by Stephen Jones and Will McClay, should take a bow for building the foundation of a strong roster through the draft. Headlined by running back Zeke Elliott, left tackle Tyron Smith, right guard Zach Martin, quarterback Dak Prescott, defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence, linebackers Vayton Lander Esch, and Jalen Smith. And then they mentioned Byron Jones as well.
Is he the Hunter?
Yes. Crucial additions in the last 8 months. Receivers Amari Cooper, end Robert Quinn.
Greatest first-round draft choice in the last 15 years.
Safety George Ioka. Is that how we say his name?
Yeah.
I don't know. Lee Iacocca.
Not
But
Lee
the question
Iacocca.
is,
We're
how
not
will
making
Dallas
Chryslers.
sort out the, hey, man, he worked for Ford first. Did you know Lee Iacocca designed the Mustang? Did you know that?
No, I just know that Mr. Shelby made it better.
He did. Carol Shelby. That's a chick, right?
No, he's a dude.
Like Carol O'Connor.
He's dead. Please don't.
So's Carol O'Connor. Rest in peace, Archie Bunker.
Yes. All in the Family. Love that show.
So your number 1
Shut up,
team.
meathead.
I love that show. Your number 1 team in terms of talent in the NFL.
The hated Philadelphia Eagles.
I hate Philadelphia so much. Number 1 over Dallas. So Dallas has the number 2 talent-wise in the league, and you're not even the best in your division. Oh, look, Max is back. You got what? A cigarette. Oh. So the Philadelphia Eagles, according to Mr. Gilbrandt,
Is your cigarette in the chair?
are number one. Is it lit?
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Please take it if it's lit.
What puts the Eagles in the top
Your
spot
Fogarette?
isn't just the roster assembled by GM Howie Roseman. It's a fact that so much core talent is locked into contracts through at least 2021. That core includes several who are considered among the best at their respective positions. Quarterback Carson Wentz signed through 2024. Defensive tackle
$32 million
Fletcher
a year.
Cox signed through 2022. Tight end Zach Ertz signed through 2021. And
He's
center
badass.
Jason Kelsey through 2021. The Eagles are also to the point where the NFL draft can be used to build for the future rather than having to snag offensive. Sorry, I can't read. I need my readers. Rather than having to source players for immediate impact. So they can use the draft now. When you got a roster like that, and the Cowboys are kind of there too,
You can have, look here.
you can start drafting for the future. Really? What's this?
It's the glasses that the wife brought me.
No, it's too far away. I can't see. Sorry. I need to look good. So, yes, Philadelphia, you can reach Mr. Gil Brandt and disagree with him. He is on Twitter at Gil_Brandt.
One quick point I want to make about number 2, the Cowboys.
Yep.
I'm talking about the team that Stephen Jones and Will McClay put together. How much of that do you believe? And I've got all the faith in the world in Stephen Jones and running this team whenever His Honor Jerry turns it over. But how much more do you believe in Will McClay?
Oh, 100%.
Than anybody else in that room. I mean, that dude has put together some drafts, and it just, we are so much better off. And if he ever goes away, I may just hang him up.
Well, rumors are he is going away. And that the only reason he is still here with the Cowboys is because he has children in high school. And as soon as those children are gone to college, he is bolting for an actual GM job somewhere.
Well, I guess.
The question is, can Jerry keep him here and give him whatever title he wants to stay to keep him happy? Of course, Jerry's going to throw all the money at him. But, yes, I mean, Will McClay is your GM of this team, basically. And they would be doing themselves an injustice if they let him get away. We got some good coaching talent here with the Cowboys as well. We talked about Chris Richard earlier.
Yep.
By all accounts, Kellen Moore is a badass. We just need to get rid of the top guy so they can all do their jobs.
Well, as long as they're not being force-fed, what to do, as long as they're given the leeway to give the man enough rope to hang himself.
Right, I agree.
Give offense and defense enough rope to hang themselves. And if they do, they do. And I'll live with that as a fan. But don't stick them with the same shit they've had to run forever.
Nope, agreed 100%.
Sorry.
Moving on. Would you like to get to your bat bomb segment?
We can
Let's do that. Or do you want to do U.S. Open talk?
let's do a U.S. Open recap.
This probably needs to be our last segment because it's getting late.
Okay, that's fine. We'll maybe do the bat bomb.
We'll do all that Tuesday. Yeah, we'll do all this other stuff Tuesday. So the U.S. Open was this past week. Well, not this past weekend, but last weekend. Of course, we had Mr. John Gerber on or we didn't have him on, but he sent his picks in. And Lance, do you have what those were? I think I put them on the sheet.
Yep. Yeah. Snedeker, Schauffele, Fowler, and Spieth.
Right.
Those were the picks. Snedeker finished 77th at plus 11.
Mm-hmm.
Schauffele made a good showing. He was 7 under at a T3.
Tied for third, right?
Right. And Fowler was plus 2, started off hot, shit the bed, finished tied 43rd.
As John said he probably would, that he would fade in the last two days.
Yeah. And then Jordan, who's we all know has got, I don't know, he's got something going on between that 6 inches between his ears that we all can't figure out. And we all hope he will. in the near future here in the DFW. Finished +6, tied for 65th.
Still made the cut.
Yeah.
All of John's picks made the cut, and of course, Shoffley there tied for third was
Not this week, damn it.
was our best bet. Gary Woodland, 13 under, won the tournament. And it's interesting, when we did have John on with us at the Highlands Performance Golf Center, we were out there Saturday, so the third round had just started, and many, because of the time difference, had not even teed off yet.
Yep.
I believe Mr. Woodland was at, 9 under at that point? Maybe 7 under?
Ballpark, yeah.
Something like that going into the third round. And John had mentioned that he thought somewhere around 10 under was going to win the tournament. Whoa, that's some lightning right there.
Yep.
Which
Yep, right.
confused me a little bit, because I'm like, well, he's at 7 now. Are you saying he's only going to shoot 3 under for the next 2 days? And he was like, yeah. And he was pretty dang close.
Yep.
So 13 under wins the tournament.
And he got to 13. It could have been 12. He sank a monster putt on 18, which was greatness to watch.
Right.
Long putt. He hit it. It got close. Threw his hands up. Turned around to the crowd. The ball went in. It was awesome. It was awesome. Yes.
The chip on 17 as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. From the fringe. Yeah. And it was Yep.
So
that was. I mean that's two strokes.
No,
right
and
there.
he won the tournament. There's no question. He didn't back into that or anything.
Right.
He won the tournament.
Good for him. And there's a little side story there. There's a girl that one of his biggest fans. She is a young lady that has Down syndrome and follows him. She has played in a couple of golf tournaments. Or, I don't know about golf tournaments, but she's played golf with him, and they are close friends. There is a video that's out of him contacting her right after he won and talking to her. Then I did see where she was on, like, I don't remember what show it was today, Good Morning America, something like that, and he surprised her the day after.
Oh, wow.
And it was very touching, very cool. Gary Woodland, man,
He's a good dude.
You're a dude's dude, man, and I love you. Thank you for doing that.
I'm a new fan of his. I had not followed him much before this win. Popular golfer Tiger Woods finished the tournament at 2 under, tied for 21st. And poor Phil. Man, Phil might not ever win this thing.
He's running out of rope, man. Yeah, he's running out of time. He's 40. I think he's
about to be 50, right?
They sang happy birthday to him every hole. I think it was his 49th.
Okay, so he's right there.
Just turned 49, and yeah, I wish he would win it. I mean, from what we know as fans, he's a good dude. People love him, but
he finished the tournament at 4 over, tied for 52nd. So Phil, we should have given you a show hug.
Yeah, yeah. The man that might need the show hug the worst is Phil. And brother, we still support you. We still love you. Thank you for what you've done for the game and the pro that you are. And it's cool what you do for the fans.
I love watching him play. I love watching the galleries follow him. He's showing a lot of love on the course, man, when he's out there. So hats off to you, Phil. Sorry you had a rotten weekend. And we hope you win that Open one of these days. We'll be pulling for you. So, Lance, you have anything else for us this week?
No, none as yet.
So, once again, we will be at the Fortress Bar and Grill in Richardson on Tuesday for the Tolo Hang for 105.3 The Fan listeners. For those of you that are involved on the page, I've been made aware that some of the hosts are going to be there, which we were unsure of because of when we were having this thing, but I've been told some are coming, so we're excited about that. We hope to see everybody out there. Like I said, there will be some drink specials, and us podcasting at about 8:30 live on location.
Be a short, probably a pretty short, quick one.
Yeah, we don't want to take too much time.
No, we want to hang out and talk to the boys.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Absolutely.
Lance, why don't you take us on out of here?
Once again, as always, Timmy and I hope that that y'all find the happiness and the joy that we have in life. And for those of you that ever have to fight the demons in life, we're here. Please call me. Look us up. We love you. Thank you so much for being a part of us. Thank you so much for joining us. Please like and share, and we'll see you next time. Good night.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Drunk Sports Podcast. Join us next time for a lot more alcohol and more drunk sports talk with Lance and Tim. Until next time, here's to you.
We're all drunk.
This is the funnest night ever.
My God, that's amazing.
Surprise, I'm here.
Absolutely.